Hello, Randy Rain here, and this is my third video on building electronic modules for the escape room business. Did you know the escape rooms are big business? Well, they are, not like a piece of it. So I've already built wireless relay modules where you can have 128 different ones of them. I've also done the D6 puzzle, which is a position puzzle. So moving it around to different positions will solve the puzzle. And now I have my color puzzle. This is the same type of thing. It's a programmable puzzle that you can set the solution to, and the different things that you enter are colors. This was the hardest one out of all of them, so let me show you how I did it. Now, the color puzzle uses 6 to 12 volts DC, and it turns on a relay that can handle 24 volts at 1 amp. Right now, I just have it hooked up to a 9-volt battery, and I have it programmed for this, and this, but I can change the programming just by hitting the set button. And I could start off with the white. Just got to hold it up there. Then I can go with this. Then go with this. So now before, that doesn't do it. So now white, pink, and brown. And so the way this thing works is with the CJMCU 34725. It is a color-sensitive photodiode module built around the AMS TCS 34725 chip. It provides 16-bit digital data for red, green, and blue, RGB, and also clear and ambient light. This little module sensor is very sensitive. And depending how you hold it, depending on any light source that's getting in, and you think things are one solid color, but when you look close at them, they're really not. That can cause problems. But the module has a little LED on it. And that's the only light it really needs. So you have to isolate the sensor from other light and just use that. So what I did was use these little tiny IR sensors that can detect the object. Then I used the 16F18323 chips for the brain of the system. And so basically what happens is that when this IR sensor detects something, it goes to ground, and that goes to one of the pins, so it knows it's detected an object in front of the sensor. And then that's when it will flash the light and then get a reading. That way you can get the object in the right position, and hopefully it's that way, the same way, because you have to put the object in that same position the same way every time. So let me open it up and I'll show you how I built this thing and all the problems I had with it. As you can see, it's a pretty simple circuit, really. I milled out the PCB on my little CNC machine. Then it has some resistors because it uses I2C, so you have to have some pull-up resistors on there. These are 4.7K, which is the standard. I have a 5-volt regulator. You can put, just about any voltage onto it, and it'll drop it down to 5 volts, which is what all the components need, the chip and the 2 modules, and also the relay. And there's a transistor that turns on the relay. There's a backward diode across the coils. Then there's also a single little dip switch on here, and that's for making it latching or not latching. So if you have it on not latching, the relay will come on for just 1 second and then turn off. If you switch that dip switch, when you solve the puzzle, the relay turns on and it stays on. And to reset it, you have to turn the thing off and turn it back on again. On the terminals, you have the voltage, positive and negative. There's an A, which is for activate or activation or whatever you want to call it. That's so you can hook an LED up or anything else that you want to signal when you got something right. Because this thing is going to be buried in some prop or set piece. And so you're not going to be able to see the LED that I have on the board. So you're going to need to add something of your own. And that's what the activate or the A terminal is for. It puts out a 5-volt positive charge every time you get a correct color. Then you have your common and your normally open and normally closed on the relay switch. And so it's pretty simple, actually. So let me show you the code. It's done in Great Cow Basic. And basically you just set up all of the I2C and all that stuff. Pretty basic. But I really want to show you the pulse read color here. So this is a subroutine that gets called when you want to look at the RGB sensor. And so you can see if IR sensor equals press and the toggle and the scan ready is all ready and everything. That's if the object detector detects something. And then what it does is it waits 500 milliseconds and then it checks it again. That's for accidental coming close to it. That way, the object has to be there for a second for it to actually work. If you just briefly touch it, it doesn't do anything. But if you hold it there past the 500 milliseconds and it checks again and the object's still there, then it continues on and then it compares it to the raw data. So all it's doing is when you record it, it records the raw data that it's getting and it's saving it. Then when it comes to matching, I'm just looking to see how close it is because it will never be exactly like the raw data. And so the difference can be adjusted. But if you adjust it too much, it's too easy to trick it. And if you adjust it the other way, it's too hard to get it to even match most of the time. Everything on this thing makes a difference. Now, when I first made this thing and I printed out the little box, I used the filament that I had and it was clear. And that caused all kinds of problems because you really do have to isolate all light and everything from it. And that's when I switched over to black. But that one had a problem as well. The black made me have to get the object closer to the IR detector and everything for it to work. And that's because with the clear, the infrared light was kind of bouncing around. Here it just gets absorbed. So I had to get it closer to the object. But that's okay because I started thinking, how in the world are you going to use this? So you got to be able to put this into some sort of set or some sort of prop. And it can't just be like this. So I raised it up. And so now you get about a centimeter, I guess. And that's the part that needs to be coming through the set. And the rest of the part can be hidden underneath. And I've been trying to think of how in the world you would use this in the set. I would imagine that if you had a wall and then this was mounted and then there was a slot that you slid things into and it went up against this thing. And so there'd be different color like blocks or something that you'd put into here, like into a hole. And when you did, it came up close to this thing. I mean, I don't think you would want this, you know, just like this cut out. So it's here because you have to expose these electronics here to actually protect this thing with some glass. That's a big can of worms being open because the glare from the glass and everything will change everything and it can even stop it from working. But if it was inside something, and so that inside would be practically dark, at least there wouldn't be any direct light shining onto it. And then maybe instead of, you know, putting stuff on there, you know, it would just be like that. So it probably wouldn't even be touching. Now this one's a lot harder to see without an exterior LED. I can add in an LED here onto the activate. And then got a little resistor. This can go to ground. Yep, that works. I'll take this guy and go from the common and I'll take it to positive. I'll run a green LED out of the normally open. So I'll just use a little clip here, clip it to there. Turn the light away, power it up. So we'll program it for this white. We'll go with this pink. And let's see, we'll go with this blue like that. Now, white, pink, and blue. So let's do this. Let's go. Just program it for this blue. Okay, what about this blue? Let's try this. That works pretty good. So even that difference of blue. So that's it. That's the color puzzle. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to see more stuff, hit the subscribe button. I want to thank these people. These are the patrons. These are the people bringing you these videos. I couldn't do any of this stuff without them. So I thank them oh so very much. If you'd like to become a patron, of course, there's links and perks and stuff. So please go check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Got it just to turn on by doing that. Oh, Lord. And so, and that's the only light it really needs. And so you have to kind of